Hey guys, Burnished here, bringing you a quick little video. A lot of people, how do I word this? A lot of people who check Reddit will most likely know about this. Um, a lot of people have been looking at Froggen's Lee Sin mid gameplay. I think it is absolutely phenomenal what he can do with the Lee Sin in the mid lane, so I thought I'd give it a go. And looking at our team composition, we've got a Jax, a Lee Sin, and a Garen. So we've got tons and tons of melee physical damage, close range damage mainly, but we have a fair bit of gap closers as well. We got Volibear support with Ignite, so I don't know where that came from, and we got a Misfortune carrying Exhaust as the AD carry because the support, I'm assuming, did not pick up Exhaust. So yeah, pretty interesting sort of team here. We don't have any AP damage, and we don't really have that much range damage. The most range damage we do have is Misfortune. So it's interesting to basically see what goes on here. And I'm up against a Zyra in the mid lane. Zyra obviously really strong. Those snares are absolutely horrendous, you'll see in this, and the plants just, she can make so many of those plants, it is absolutely ridiculous to deal with. So here I'm just pulling, well, I'm not even pulling it, I'm just clearing wolves, and I did actually pick up Q as my first spell. I assumed I'm going to have to pull blue, sorry, and I doubt the Misfortune or Volibear will pull it, so I might as well just pick up Q. Normally I would pick up E, just in case Jax wanted to level 2 gank. If he had gone for red, I would have asked for Garen to pull the red, so then I can have an E, he can come gank mid lane, I use my E to slow him, and then he jumps in. So I just pull with Q, so nice long range attack. Sort of makes me think of Fizz, how he can't really pull if he wants to get a good starting ability. And Zyra doesn't get into lane for a while, so I get some pretty much free CS here, which is always nice. And the one problem I thought I'd have with Lee Sin, quick side note actually, this is the first game of Lee Sin mid that I've actually played, like, ever. So if it seems a bit rusty, then, or if it seems a bit shitty, then yeah, that's pretty much why. But yeah, I thought I'd have the main problem that most AP mids that are melee have in this game, and that is just constant harass from the other AP mid. Obviously it's Zyra, so she could auto attack me, she could use any of her abilities on me, and there's not much I can really do. For example, I hit my Q there, chunks her for about one of her bars, and if I jumped in it would have chunked her for maybe 1.5, possibly 2. And so that would have been a ton of damage. So I already realized how strong I am against this mid lane. And the reason why this works so well is actually, if you look at Zyra at the moment, let's just click on Zyra. Looking, she only has 17 armor against the Lee Sin. You just see how much damage I did there, only taking a turret shot, and I still come off with a little bit extra HP than her. So that's why it works really well. Mid laners do not have a lot of armor, and if you send a Vlad or a Kennen, someone like that into the top lane, unfortunately we didn't do it this game, then they will be confused and figure they're up against that sort of person. I know that she does have extra magic resist, so right here I jump in realizing I was going to die anyway, use my Q, and the lifesteal that I get from my W keeps me alive for so long. As you saw there, in fact I'm going to rewind just really quickly. If I just slow it down, as you can see here, she goes in for the bind, I get snared, I know I'm going to die from this Q as soon as she puts it down. So I instantly safeguard over to a minion, and then drop down on her E. I've already used my W passive effect that gives me lifesteal. Managed to just hit the Q onto her, put down Ignite, Q onto her, and do one more auto attack, and she's dead. And with that Q damage and the E damage, it got me enough lifesteal to be able to sustain that. And even though that fight looked like it was so much in her favor, I still managed to come out on top, which was pretty good. Yeah, I just thought that was really quite impressive. Not from my skill level, but simply from the amount of lifesteal you have simply from a level 1 W. Do apologize. So yeah, I get first blood there, which is quite nice. Let's speed this up a little bit. And I'm going to go straight for the double Doran's Blades. Not picking up any wards just yet. Still haven't used any health potions, which is really useful, because getting to around the level like 10, I think around level 9, if they're solely maxing Q, or an ability like that, then they will have it maxed by level 9. So I'm assuming I'm going to be taking a lot of damage come level 9. Right here I do the stupid thing of not really killing the plant. That's the best idea, because they do a lot of damage. And I see Jax in the bush there, but he doesn't really, he doesn't initiate, which is what I sort of needed. The thing is with Lee Sin, you can initiate, but she was so far away from me, it was really difficult. If he had gone in, I could have safeguarded to a minion and queued in, and that would have been fine. But not to worry, really. A lot of Zyra's damage actually comes from the binding, so being a high mobility champion really does help her. You see in a Mumu gank here, I get stunned, insta safeguard. It's one of the things that makes Lee Sin really strong in lane, at least for what I see, is the fact that he can get out of ganks so easily just by using that safeguard. So Jax is down here again, but just doesn't seem to want to fight. Zyra's really squishy at this point, so I don't know why we didn't fight her. And later on, if you look at her build, she does build pretty defensively. So yeah, I'm just trying to get some CS here, and this is what I was talking about. You slowly lose a lot of HP. Even with the lifesteal, it's just not enough at this point. I was thinking of incorporating a Vamp Scepter into a really early item on Lee Sin, just to keep that sustain in lane fairly strong. As long as you can out lifesteal what damage they are doing to you, then you should win the laning phase without any trouble. Okay, my big minion takes minion, blah blah. At the moment, 36 CS, so I'm on par with Ezreal and Misfortune, so I'm fairly close to both of them, which is very decent. Right there, I just missed my Q. I just aimed that incorrectly, and Garen comes in for a gank, but nope, it's a no-go. I got a little bit of camp from my team in this lane, in this game, which was quite nice. Garen came down once, I believe, and then the jungler was here a couple of times. No real actual ganks. I didn't particularly need them. So, yeah, all she's doing is auto-attacking me. I feel that champions... oh yeah, there I get binded. So I jump in anyway, use my E again, ignite, kick her away. The kick heals me for enough to survive from that ignite. And that's just what I'm talking about. The lifesteal is absolutely insane and just keeps me alive through amazing circumstances. If I was pretty much any other mid lane champion, I would have died at that point. And getting ganked by a Mumu, but he can't really do much. Q onto a minion. I'm trying to do fancy footwork here, but it's really not working. I'm just sort of toying with him. And here comes Jax. Q in. I was going to Q back in, but I feel like I had a bit too low HP, especially with those tears on the ground. I don't think I could have done anything. So go back in. Really stupid of me to go back in for some more CS. So I'm just like, okay, I'll back. In fact, I wanted to pick that up first. Big cannon minions do give a lot of money, so it's always good to pick those up. Blah blah blah. Speed past this. Yeah. Okay. Good thing about Lee Sin mid as well is you sort of blue buff is free to your jungler or to your bot lane or to your top lane depending on what map you're on. So if let's say you have, I don't know, a Jace top lane and you're playing as Lee Sin mid, probably not the best idea. I'm actually trying to think of a top lane that has mana. I don't know, Swain top lane then. While you take Lee Sin mid, you know, you can just trade it off to them. It's like having a Kali mid or whatever. I get snared again, but I get snared right next to her plant, so I can just instantly take that down. She spawns a lot of plants. I think she might have put a couple of points into W. You can check that out. No, still no points into W. She just manages to spawn quite a lot of those plants. And so, just doing it small. Again, get put right next to it. Take a bit of chunk damage there. And as you can see, pretty much all the time in this lane, I am on about half-life. There's not much more I can do against that. And I think here I hit a Q, but I was about to go in, but then I sort of moved in that top rush, and Zyra was sort of standing there, just sort of saying, you know, I will. Right there, my Q gets deflected by the plant as well. Walk out of her ulti, or Jax continues to man mode in there. I W1 just so the auto attack doesn't get it, or anything like that. Hide in this bush. And this bit shows a bit of the potential as well. So I walk into this brush, accidentally stop, so he knows that I'm here, tries to manage shots, place a ward down, Q onto him, start doing damage, and we just have an auto attack war here, and he sort of thinks he can win, but then I use my shield, use my lifesteal, ignite, kick away, ignite ticks, picks up the kill. So that's a really strong thing that you can do on Lee Sin as well, using the ignite and then kicking, using your ultimate. If you know they're going to die, you work out sort of how much damage ignite will do on your level, and then you work out how much your kick will do. And you can just do so much burst damage in that short amount of time, and even it works even better if you combo it as well. If I land a Q on someone while I'm standing right next to them, I will kick them, ignite them, and then Q them again, and it will just do masses of damage. So yeah, pretty much gonna go in for the steal on these wraiths. I think I do get these wraiths. Yeah, I do. A couple of times I do miss the wraiths, which is unfortunate. And maybe looking like he's gonna come for his wraiths. Haha, they are mine. Trying to get in behind this Zyra, completely missed the Q, assuming that she was gonna walk backwards as soon as she see me, and dodged the binding with the W there, which is nice, especially considering Moomin was so close. He probably could have flash bandage tossed. Q right there onto Zyra, just that amount of damage forces her to use her ultimate straight away, even though I was on ridiculously low HP. It's a lot of burst that he can deal, and it just shows that I can really shut down this Zyra. You know, only 52 CS, which I suppose isn't that bad CS, but if you look at our team compared to theirs, you know, we're beasting them a little bit on CS. So that's the main important thing here. I feel I could have shut down her a little bit more effectively if she didn't have plants or a snare, but that's the things you get in mid lane. And that's basically why you can pick Lee Sin mid. It's been since Froggen picked it, I've seen a lot of people talking about its viability, and it is pretty much viable. It's sort of like picking Pantheon or Talon mid. It's there just to shut down the enemy AP mid. If you've got a strong AP mid like Zyra, or something with decent killing potential, Kali, Orianna, I suppose. That's not really killing potential, that's more crowd control and needs to get CS. You get one of those champions and you just shut them down, and then they become completely useless in the mid game. Well, not completely useless, they just become less useless, less useful rather, in the middle game, so you can win fights that way. And I think right here I go AFK to answer my door quickly. So I do apologize about that, let's speed through this a little bit. There we go. So queuing on to some minions, and Q is really good. I do like how there's a lot of melee AP mids like Fizz and Diana. I suppose Diana is also the exception, but you can use your Q not only as an engagement tool, a damage tool. Right there I force her to use her ultimate straight away, and I just sort of tank the damage. As I was saying, yeah, you can use that Q as an engagement to attack, but you can also use it to pick up the stray CS that is long range. So that's a really nice feature. The E has quite a bit of range as well, and the W means that you can go for those sort of worryful minions, the minions that you think are gonna possibly kill you if you go for them, and then you can safeguard out of there. So it's a lot like top lane in that sense. And just back to CSing. Again, not dependent on blue buff, which is quite nice. However, the energy restriction is quite strong. So you have to have energy, or else you can't really do anything. Land the Q, go in, use the E, kick, use ignite as well, just in case. Picks up the kill. Still get hit by the Zyra passive, and a turret shot, but it simply doesn't hurt enough for me to care. So currently on 4 and 0. Simply from killing Zyra and Mumu, so that was pretty nice, especially considering I've had 0 ganks in my lane. Not a call out to my jungler or anything, but you know, having 0 ganks and being able to come out with a 4-0 lead is quite strong. It's something you would definitely expect from an AP bruiser in the mid lane. It's sort of like putting Talon in the mid lane, and you know, you expect him to sort of get kills on the enemy mid. So yeah, I'm just gonna speed through this bit. Land the Q on her, jump in, because I know I was going to get hit by the Q anyway. And I actually take less damage from the turret than I would from a Q, so Yeah, just sort of judging the damage there. That frickin' minion decided to follow me forever. And I'm just trying to wait for her to push up a little bit so I can go on her. Q in from the ward, go in, make her use her flash. She also uses her ultimate. I go in, I kicked her away a bit too early right here, and I juke that so I don't get hit by it and die. And I make it out with a kill. So now 5-0, really nice. Mumu, I think, is... No, the Mumu just back off from here. And I'm just going to CS this wave and then go back, using a lot of my abilities because I don't need them. It's not that they have long cooldowns, it's just Zyra isn't in the lane and I want to get back, so you can use them as much as you want, I suppose. It didn't really make much sense, but whatever. So I was going to take down that turret, but I see a Mumu coming back. And I Q in because I realize I have my ward there, get a little bit minion block there. Don't take too much damage. Wanting to go back anyway. 123 CS on the same as Misfortune and Ezreal at the moment. If I just check my money, yeah, I do have enough to go straight for a Bloodthirster. And Garen picks up a kill, which is nice. Speed through this a little bit. And I believe, yeah, we definitely take the turret down. So we take the turret, which is nice. Not much more to say about that. Speed this up a little bit. Nothing really happens. Didn't realize that, but Zyra actually went down mid lane. I said in all chat, Zyra AFK question mark, simply because I thought she was AFK. Hit a Q onto Amumu, do quite a bit of damage, and don't take too much damage myself. However, come away with 0 energy. Garen getting the kill onto Jace, and good thing is I get to pick up this red buff. It's also a sort of a downside because the red buff will primarily go to your jungler and then to your AD carry in the mid-late game, so you never really get a hold of it, which sort of sucks. But it's not as useful in the mid lane. Also, I find you need a lot of burst on Lee Sin, so that's why I'm building a straight up Bloodthirster. It's oh, I've already got it actually. It's a lot different than I feel top lane Lee Sin is. Playing top lane Lee Sin, I think you can focus a bit more defensively because your enemy obviously is going to be playing a bit more defensively, and your lane is quite a bit longer. I would say it's about nearly 2 times the length size of mid lane, top lane. So you have time to do the damage, whereas mid lane is so small you need to burst someone down before they can reach their turret, or else you're going to take a lot of turret damage. And Mumu does get the bandage toss on there, but I'm not really worried. I mean, safeguard is up, so I just safeguard. And 5 people are actually chasing me, so a bit depressing. And we break out in a team fight here, and I think it's a bit of a bad team fight. I sort of stand over here, try to hit a Q, don't actually hit it, so then my Q's down as well. And Mumu snaring everybody, gets shut down to Garen. And then I'm just sort of focusing Zyra. I don't think that was the right course of action particularly. I think I should have focused down Ezreal a bit more. But I do take down Zyra with pretty much ease. And that's one thing you can do a lot in team fights as a bruiser. Flash over, get the Q onto Sona. She flashes my E, which is quite annoying, but I do have red buff. Get the ignite down, last hit, there we go. So a nice clean 1 for 5 ace, which is sort of expected. Zyra has been shut down, like you didn't even see her use ulti in that team fight. In fact, no, you did, sorry. But it just didn't do enough damage. She's not doing the damage that she should be doing. Etc, etc. I'm 55 CS, 60 CS ahead of her actually in the mid lane. And, 7 kills up, whereas she's 0 and 5. And if you take a look at her build, she's building a catalyst, so she's going for Rod of Ages. And she just generally builds tanky after this. She realizes that I'm doing too much damage, and that's one way that you can really stop this, is by building tanky. Right here, I make a really terrible mistake. I bought another Doran's Blade and another Vamp Scepter. Reason being, I'm building another, what do you call it? Wow, total brain melt. Another Bloodthirster. Another Bloodthirster can sort of work. I mean, you get a lot more damage. It really does boost up your damage. And, getting 2 stacks, if you get both the stacks to 40, you get plus, I believe, 70 is it from the Bloodthirster? 60. So 60 plus 40, so 100 extra damage per Bloodthirster. And you get around How much lifesteal you get? You get around 40 lifesteal from 2 fully stacked Bloodthirsters. So that's a lot of lifesteal, and it means you can basically come back from any sort of fight perfectly. And Jack's fighting this Jace. And right here, I sort of play stupid. I assume my team's coming, so I'm just focusing Zyra here. Get the kill onto Zyra. And this is where I sort of realized I should have been focusing Ezreal all this time. Team sort of recalling in the bush instead of coming over. All I needed was a safeguard to really get out of there, but I suppose, you know, doesn't matter that much, I suppose. But yeah, so Ezreal, you know, getting a little bit fed. You know, he's got pretty decent CS. Realised I'm not following me for a second there. So back in the mid lane. First death of the game, depressed face. So now I do have 2 Bloodthirsters. And, yeah, I feel like I should have probably gone for Frozen Mallet, like, before the second Bloodthirster. Reason being, I thought I didn't need any more real survivability. That was when I bought the Doran's Blade, but clearly, as you can see right there, I definitely do need to, especially if I'm diving in the back versus Ezreal. So yeah, I need to be a little bit more tanky than pure strength. I should have built the Bloodthirst obviously second. I was thinking about building a Last Whisper, but if you have a look at all their items, they don't really have any armor. I suppose Mumu's building a little bit of armor, building a Frozen Heart, but no one else is really building any armor, which I found quite surprising from Zyra as well. But apparently they just didn't want to. They just didn't want to build any armor. I don't know why. So yeah, that just meant I didn't build a Last Whisper because I didn't really feel like I needed the armor penetration. Yeah, so I probably should have gone for Frozen Heart. I needed to be a little bit more tankier. Yeah. Don't know, not much more to say about that. And then, if I had done this game correctly, I would have gotten the Frozen Mallet right now instead of the Bloodthirster, so I'd already be on that. Sorry for those pings, they are from my League client that's still open. So I'd get a Frozen Mallet for the extra defense, and for the slow, it is quite useful, especially when you're facing an Ezreal who can just Arcane Shift away. And I would then pick up, most likely, a Guardian Angel. If you look in the team fights that happen later on, I get focused down pretty much instantaneously, and just get absolutely stopped from doing any damage to our team. So, any damage to our team? Any damage to their team? So right here, I dive in for that 1 CS. Not the best of ideas, so I have to use a ward. I actually use 2 wards, which is a bit annoying. I was wondering why I was 1 ward down, yeah. Okay, that makes more sense. So I was panicking a little bit there. Q in to Zyra, realizing that she's going for it. And we just basically need someone to initiate the fight. And I believe everyone is actually... No, Jax died, unfortunately. So we do engage in a fight sort of here. And I'm trying to go in, and it's not really the best idea. I mean, he does get his ultimate down, so I have to flash over the wall. So that's a wasted flash for me. And then they sort of just chase me down here. Realize I'm here, so I gotta ward jump this. Q onto dragon, Q again, pick up the dragon kill. See Ezra about to kill Misfortune, so I kick him away. He has to flash away from Jax, etc. And so that was a terrible team fight. We were 4 versus 5. That's one thing I really don't realize a lot of the time. Whenever I'm playing, I never really completely look at who's on the map, etc. So I usually end up going to 4 versus 5 team fights and being like, oh, this person was not here. So I'm just trying to defend this turret just in case they get to it. Realizing now that the minion wave is actually at this bottom tower. And queuing a minion one-shotting it, which is quite depressing because then I can't port to it. Speed this up a little bit, and there I go pick up my giant spell. I think it's a bit too late for that really. I should be on my chain vest, maybe even Guardian Angel. I think actually no, I'd be a bit too far off Guardian Angel, but I should be at least on my chain mail for my Guardian Angel and a full Frozen Mallet. Q onto blue, not actually there. Speed this up a little bit, slows down a little bit. Trying to catch Zyra out here. She does get jumped on. We pretty much instantly burst her down there. I think I missed my Q, that's why I didn't do as much damage. Q onto Jace though, hit him. Can't really go in on that, it's going to take too much damage from Jace. And Ezreal was also on his way as well. Just trying to get some CS. Jay's trying to stop me. Q on over the wall, I think, in a minute. Will I? Yeah, there, hit the Q. And Q in. And then everyone's like trying to use all their abilities on me. W over to Jax, which is really fun. Also a bit dangerous, because sometimes it's like difficult. You saw me running around a little bit there trying to actually get the W range. And here we find underneath the turret, and everything's going absolutely terribly. Because, well, we're basically fighting underneath the turret. Actually, it's not going too bad. Should have W'd over there onto Garen. I don't think I had the range, and Misfortune sort of tanking the tower there, which was not what we needed. So we sort of came out about the same there. We really shouldn't. We should have came out better on that fight, especially considering we were diving a turret. But that sort of told us that we shouldn't be diving the turret right now. We should just, you know, concentrate onto Baron and win like that. So they come back to try and kill me. I kill off a couple of jungle mobs. 219 CS at 31 minutes, so it's pretty terrible CS, I believe. I believe at 10 minutes the maximum you can get is 114 CS, so you should have around 320 CS if you're properly farming. So I'm 100 CS down, which is absolutely terrible, and that's one of the main reasons, if anyone did watch Chaos's teamfight actually, Q onto him and would completely destroy him, but it takes a little bit longer than we thought. And so we're team fighting there, and we're just getting absolutely completely shut down. Get Q onto Ezreal, trying to take him down, and it simply doesn't work. I believe I get close to killing him here, but the summoner heal or something helped him. I don't know what it was, and he just gets away from that. So we realized then that Misfortune wasn't in the team fight, so that sucks. Because she wasn't in the team fight, we sort of just lost that, and I was surprised they didn't actually go for Baron. That's exactly what I would have done immediately. MF AFK, clearly. I don't know what she was doing. I should have probably actually checked what she was doing, but whatever. So she wasn't there for that team fight, and I think this put us down quite a bit, because if you look at Ezreal now, he's now 7-2, and we see Jace at 6-9. So they're both getting like re-fed off of that, you know, poor laning phase that they generally had. Zyra is still pretty weak. She's 3-7 now though, and she's got a giant spell on a Rod of Ages, so she's building extremely tanky against all the bruisers that we have, everyone who can just focus her down. Because we're a very dive-in sort of team comp, which is not really what we're doing. We should be diving into Ezreal straight away, all three of us, and just completely obliterating him. And that's how we should really win team fights. So, just scouting around, Q onto Baron. I actually missed the Baron Q, so that was fun. And you know, around this time we should have. This is where we should have definitely instantaneously gone for Baron. We should have just 100% gone for Baron there when we saw Ezreal on the bot lane, but we decided not to because we saw Jace coming up the river, so I thought their entire team was possibly there. So we start up another engagement here, and right now we're close enough that we're basically kissing. See Jace just standing in the bush. So now this is sort of bad because we're starting to get a bit split here. Jax is sort of running down the lane and Garen's running through the bushes. So I don't know where anyone is really going. Garen Q's in there. And W over, just because I feel if I'd ran down that way that would have meant my death. So, you know, just to get better positioning. Realize that there's Jace actually running over there, so they must have found Garen. And this is why you don't really split, because Volibear just gets instantly chunked, and now he's on half-life, so there's not much more he can do. I try to dive in, I take way too much damage. This is where a Guardian Angel would have definitely helped, so I would have been able to shut down Ezreal as soon as I got back up. And then they just proceed to clean up the fight. I mean, you look at, you know, Volibear way in the back there, basically doing nothing, and we sort of dived individually. I think I dived in, and Jax dived in, and then Garen dived in, and then Volibear dived in, you know. Misfortune obviously just killing in the back line. But yeah, I think the main reason we lost this game was because we didn't all dive in, which is exactly what our team comp stood for. We had 3 AD bruisers basically in 3 different positions on the field. We should have dived on that Ezreal, instantly shut him down, and won the team fight that way. Anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed this little Lee Sin mid video. I will be playing more Lee Sin mid. If you want to check me out, go to my live stream, www.twitch.tv/burnished, not BurnishedGaming, just Burnished. I'll put a link in the description below as well, so you can check that out there. Be sure to follow, and you'll get an email whenever I am streaming. This was actually taken from my stream as well. I was streaming this game earlier, so if you do want to check it out, I'll be playing Lee Sin in pretty much every single position. Top, mid, and jungle. I don't think you play AD carry or support, but yeah, anyway. So thank you guys for watching. I will see you all next time.